It took me 48 months of intensity to move a business from no net worth to a sizable net worth. And the way I did that was decentralization. How do you decentralize? These are basic concepts. It's not about the education, the knowledge I'm going to get, that I'm fixing to pour out. It's not the education. It's the application that matters. Okay. So friends, take what I'm going to say and then apply it and go do it. Unless you do it, it's not going to matter. It's just wasted time and energy for all of us.
Right.
So where do you want to be? Let's start off with, what do you want to achieve? Now that could be a value, that could be a size, that could be an impact. It's whatever you desire. To me, I wanted to impact 1,000 business owners. That was my goal. To me, I wanted to reach a certain value in the business that would close my wealth gap for my family. That was a goal. To me, I wanted to build a national brand that I could do what I'm doing now, speak life into business owners and say, hey, there is a way you can reach your goals. And I hope you hear that. I hope you hear it with my voice and the passion that I have for you and your success.
Yeah.
But it's only going to happen if, number one, you look at where you're at today and plan where you want to be and get crystal clear about it. It's like building a house. You have to envision what the house is going to look like before you ever meet with the architect. You have to have pictures from Pinterest or Instagram and visit friends' houses, go to open houses, say, hey, I like this siding and I like this roof and I like this floor. Same things with your business, same things with your life. So if we know where we're at and we know where we want to be, you've already won the battle. You know, G.I. Joe said, and knowing is half the battle, right? Yeah. You're literally, I'm showing my child of the 80s here, but you're literally, following the G.I. Joe method. You know where you want to be. That's cool. You've accomplished one of the hardest things that most of us have to accomplish. The second thing is you have to design, this is that planning component, you have to design a specific roadmap with action steps that you are going to take to get you there. You say, Justin, man, you did 48 months. Look, I can take you back 48 months ago, and I have done this. I've actually published this where I can show you exactly where I knew my revenue would be if I followed the steps. And I missed it by $30,000 on a seven-figure revenue stream. So you can plan out where you want to be technically. You say, I don't know how to do that. Option number 3 is, now you know where you want to be. Now you build a plan and you get a coach. You get somebody beside you that knows more than you do. You get somebody beside you that walked that journey before. You get somebody beside you that's not going to take your excuses because, hey, look, we all have them, right? You get somebody beside you that can identify the blind spots. I use this example often on my podcasts, and I talk through this, but it's something that equates to my country mind. I love to hunt. I don't do very good at it, but I love getting out in God's creation. Yeah. And a few years ago, I went to the Colorado Rockies, the Rocky Mountains, for the first time ever. I'd never been there. I lived in the East Coast, flat country boy on the ocean in South Georgia, but I wanted to go to these mountains. I'd always heard about them. I heard about elk and mule deer. Yeah. So I hired a guide. This guide was born and raised on this mountain range. He knew where the animals slept. He knew where they drank water. He knew where the cliffs were. He knew where the trails were. I told him, I want to see a porcupine. I've never seen one in the wild. He knew where porcupines were. He walked me straight to a porcupine. Yeah. He did that because he was indoctrinated. He had lived there. He had lived and breathed this journey. Right. And so whenever I walked into his world, it was an old hat for him because he had already experienced it. He didn't learn it in a classroom somewhere and take Google information and try to go apply it. Right. So whenever you're going through this process of decentralization, of building value, of driving your wealth, you got to know where you want to be. You got to create a plan, and then you got to have somebody who's been there before. You got to have somebody who's mountain wise, so to speak, or business wise, that could come alongside of you and say, look, I know we're fixing to climb 3,000 foot in altitude. Suck it up, buttercup. Let's go. You got to have the same thing in your business. And only then will you hit the mark.